Thank you, Holden. Many St. Louis families have felt the sting of losing a loved one to violence. This year's homicides, they're down more than 25%. Good news, but it doesn't paint a full picture. Our Ryan Henson joins us live from downtown to break down this dip. Ryan?
Well, and first and foremost, we have to give credit to law enforcement and police, the people who are on the front lines day and night keeping our city safe partially for this dip right here. But as we look into the numbers, well, we're actually closer to pre-pandemic levels. Yeah, crime is down, but when you look at 2020, well, it's a statistical anomaly, the most violence we've seen in our city for years. But with the positive news, leaders and neighbors taking the dip in crime in stride. Fewer flashing lights in St. Louis neighborhoods this year. Less crime tape blocking St. Louis streets. In 2020, 263 people were killed. This year, it's 192 with a day left. Pretty much right on par with pre-pandemic levels.
So the conditions that brought us up last year were clearly the pandemic.
More stress, lockdowns, folks losing jobs. Then factor in the civil tension. Data indicates crime rose following flashpoints in society like the death of George Floyd. It boiled blood and tarnished trust in law enforcement.
That means people are less likely to call the police when they would have in the past, less likely to cooperate with the police when the police are investigating crimes, more likely to take matters into their own hands.
I hope I would never have to put my daughter's face on a t-shirt.
One of the victims of this year's violence is Isis Marr. The young woman was killed in October. Earlier this month, her father and hundreds of teens from across St. Louis led an anti-violence march.
And as they grew up in the rec center, they learned things in life that changed variables in their thinking and their actions.
He spent over a decade mentoring and running the Stop the Violence program at Wolves Recreational Center.
It's just a time to come together with the youth, some sports. They played basketball. We had poets, job set up.
Murders are down, morale is up, especially at City Hall. Board of Aldermen President Louis Reed is excited about safer streets and the success of Cure Violence, a program he ushered in that's paying dividends.
One day, hopefully, we will become known as one of the safest cities in America, and I think we can get there.
So President Reed says the plan for next year is to expand Cure Violence in other neighborhoods in St. Louis. Right now, it's paying off greatly in the neighborhoods that it's in, but it's only in 3 neighborhoods out of the almost 80 here in St. Louis City. Now, the UMSL professor that I spoke with says, yeah, a lot of the factors that were prevalent in 2020 weren't in 2021. That's when we saw that dip in crime. He's cautious about making crime predictions in 2022. I'm Ryan Henson, 5 on your side.
Ryan, thank you.